Welcome to WWP Clips. This is the official Clips channel for We Want Picks. We will be uploading our individual fight breakdown videos here, so make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. And as always, go to wewantpicks.com/bets, sign up with any one of our 5 betting partners, make a deposit, and we send you $50 as a thank you. Next up at UFC Vegas 58, we have the co-main event of the evening. We have Caio Borralho taking on Armen Petrosyan. Caio Borralho is 11-1 overall, 5-0 in his last 5, and he is coming off a win in his UFC debut in what was a different co-main event. And he's fighting Armen Petrosian, 7-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off the first decision of his career. Caio Borralho is a very slick grappler with solid submissions and well-timed takedowns. He has a long stance and very loose on his feet, where he then explodes into double legs for takedowns. When he hits the ground, it is very clear that he's an accomplished grappler with just how he moves and controls on top. He has belts in both judo and jiu-jitsu, and he uses all of those techniques in his fights. He had an awesome head kick combo on the Contender Series that led to a stoppage, and he has improved striking. You could see that in his last fight against Godzi, but he's definitely a grappler and not a striker. Armen Petrosian is a fun striker who's coming off the first decision of his career. He has a professional kickboxing background, and if you go watch those fights, he essentially just brawls it out. He relies on his chin to keep him in those fights. He lets people back him up, and then he plants his feet and just throws heavy. He does not have the best takedown defense, but he has very good submission defense and a solid get-up game. His most impressive statistic is definitely his striking output. He lands almost 8 significant strikes per minute, which is double the UFC average. And this should be a fun fight between 2 skilled fighters with contrasting styles. Caio's a fantastic grappler who's going to be looking to get it to the ground, and Armen is a professional kickboxer with incredible volume who wants to fight in the pocket. This is another fight where the bookies have a clear favorite. Caio's a 2-1 favorite on most books, but I think the fight's a lot closer than that. Caio does have a clear path with the grappling, but Armen has been taken down 5 times in 2 fights, and he still won those fights, even though he gave up 5 takedowns. He landed 127 strikes on Gregory Rodriguez to Gregory's 61 in a fight where he was taken down twice. If Armen fights loose, lets his hands fly, and makes Caio pay every time there's a grappling entry, then Armen wins this fight. I do think Caio will get it to the ground, and he will have success there. So Caio's the pick, but I don't like him as a 2-1 favorite. And quite honestly, let's see how weigh-ins go. Let's see how the rest of this week's go. I may change that pick. This is like a razor-thin fight for me, even though there's a clear grappling advantage. What do you think?
Yeah, the grappling advantage obviously is why the odds are the way they are. You know, if this stays on the feet, Armen should, I guess, win the fight. But when you watch that Gregory Rodriguez fight, that dude was getting hit. And I know Gregory Rodriguez is a decent striker in his own right, and he has some real power. But he also is known as like a grappling specialist. And I know he gets in wars, and he throws hands, and he's able to land strikes. But he was lighting Armen up. And if you watch Caio in his last fight as well, I know that he dominated the grappling. And actually, that fight, he was supposed to be, you know, I don't want to say the striker in that matchup, but he was not supposed to win the wrestling in that matchup. I know he's a better grappler, jiu-jitsu, but he was supposed to lose wrestling. The Russian was supposed to come in, take him down, and control and hold him. And the first takedown, he was able to just shrug him off, sweep him, and just control him and dominate him on the ground. I think the second round, he got his own takedown in that fight. And then, obviously, the third round happened to where he kneed him in the head. And that Russian was like, I'm done. Let me try and get out of here with a no contest or whatever. Because he was getting dominated in that fight. And it was a legal knee. And he thought that he was going to be able to get out of that fight. But they went to the judges' scorecards because it went so long. They determined it was not a on purpose knee, a purposeful knee, whatever that word is or whatever. But listen, Caio is a big problem. I think I picked against him in that last fight because I thought that he was going to be taken down and controlled. And he showed that not only is his jiu-jitsu good, but his wrestling and sweeps are also fantastic. The way that Gregory was able to take down Armen, I know that he ended up winning that fight with the striking, but the ease at which he was able to take those down, and the thing that is important here is when Gregory took him down, and I think this probably happened in his last fights too, it was a lot of submission over position. When you watch Caio take people down the way he took down that Russian in the last fight, it was all control. Just taking his time, control, body lock. When he was rotating the body lock, he was switching the body lock. He was all about, let me just keep him here and control him. And if a submission opens itself up, I'll take it. The guy's been training with Damian Maia for like 10 years. He knows what he's doing out there. But I love the fact that it was his UFC debut, but he didn't chase anything. He was so patient. Position over submission. If he gets Arman down, he is going to be able to control him and do whatever he wants on the ground. And I think that on the feet, he can hold his own. Obviously, that's not where he wants to be, but the way that Arman is able to get hit, I think he can hold his own to get to those takedowns. So I think Caio, we both picked Caio, but I'm much higher on Caio than I think you are in this fight. I think he can hold his own in the striking, and if he gets this fight to the ground, it is going to be position over submission. He should absolutely dominate. So I'm Caio all the way, and I understand why the odds are 2-1.
Yeah, same pick, different confidence levels for sure, because clear path for Caio, but Arman's a savage, dude. Like go watch his kickboxing fights. He's a savage. But $8,900 in DraftKings. Listen, if you think he wins with the grappling, then he's definitely worth $8,900. Control time scores really well. Takedown score really well. So if he's getting 15 minutes of, or 12 minutes of control time, then yeah, he'll score well and he's worth the $8,900. If you think Arman could put him out, $7,300 is worth it. Do you like him at $8,900?
Yeah, he's gonna be in my lineup.
Yeah. Monkey Knife Fight Strike Line, 62-71. I do think this fight goes a little longer. And I think it's a more and more. The stat that I mentioned was that Armen Petrosyan in that fight with Gregory Rodriguez, Armen landed 127 strikes, and he was taken down twice. So we just need him to get past 71. I think he will get past 71. Like you said, Caio's a pretty good striker, so he may entertain the striking for a little bit. So I'm confident in the more on the Monkey Knife Fight Strike Line. Check that out at wewantpicks.com/MKF. And if you want $50 free, there's definitely some prop bets here to have some money be made. And if you want to go check those out, wewantpicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our 5 betting partners, make a deposit, and we send you $50 as a thank you.